Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out. Always really appreciative of that. And guys, today we're going to be giving tips and advice on fishing a wake bait. I don't think that we've talked about wake baits before on Fishing Teacher. This is a really good lure, but really between like March, April, and May, this is the best time of year to fish it. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it and sort of the best conditions that it works in today's video. Also, guys, before we get started here, we've only got just a couple more days left. You hear me talking about it, the spring to April sale on my Solarbat series RB2 and RB3 series sunglasses by Solarbat. If you guys want to get a pair by the end of the month here, you can get them at 30% off. I'll put the Solarbat link in the description. You guys can order your pair, take advantage of that sale. So much appreciated. Okay, guys, if you're not familiar with a wake bait is actually, it's a topwater lure it's designed just what it says, to make a wake behind it. Now, when you reel a wake bait across the surface, it wobbles just like that, real slow, and it throws out a wake in the water, like a little V behind it. And guys, this is extremely attractive to bass under the right situation. So what I want to do here, I want to tell you a little bit about how to fish it. But the main thing is I want to describe the conditions that it works in, because the wake bait, like a lot of different lures out there, it's very situational. There's got to be just the right set of circumstances for this bait to work. Now, the first thing before a wake bait, what you have to have, and also, guys, I will put my wake bait link in the description, my Tackle Warehouse wake bait link, if you guys want to get some good way to help the channel is using that link. So I'll put that in the description of the video. But anyway, the conditions that you want for a wake bait is, number one, you have to have the right water clarity. And you got to have clear water. And when I'm talking about clear water, you really need to have a minimum of about 3.5 or 4 foot of clarity for a wake bait to work good. My ideal scenario is water visibility of about 4 to 6 feet on a wake bait. The next thing you have to have on it is you got to have calm conditions, or just a tiny, tiny ripple on the water. And the reason that you want calm conditions is this: as you're reeling that wake bait across the surface, if the water is choppy or if there's a ripple on the water, you can't see the wake. But if you got glass smooth water, you can see that wake coming off from a long way away, and that is the ideal scenario. Clear water, calm water is the best deal for a wake bait. Now, the sky conditions, as far as the light intensity, obviously it helps to have a little bit lower light condition, but you don't have to have it. You can have a partly cloudy day, cloudy day. I don't really like it in rain because, again, the rain sort of, breaks up the wake a little bit. I sort of like just a partly cloudy condition for it. It's probably the best scenario. And then again, it works best in water temperatures anywhere between about 55 to 70 degrees. March, April, and May are going to be the best time to throw it. Now, what you want to do, guys, it's super, super, super simple to work. You want to use monofilament line because you don't want to use fluorocarbon to sink it down. I don't like to use braid, simply because the braid's more visible. And just throw it out there. I usually use a long rod. Like, my favorite rod for it is that Megabass Orochi launcher, which is a 7 foot, 11-inch rod. The reason I like the long rod is it allows you to keep the rod tip high. And when you throw it out there and you're reeling it, you want to keep your rod tip high because that keeps the bait on the surface better. So, and the longer rod that you have, the easier it is to keep it up on the surface. So I'll throw it out there, keep my rod tip high, and I'll just slow retrieve just like that. You just want to reel it just fast enough to get it wobbling like that, because if you reel it too fast, it'll go underneath the water. So you need a slow retrieve, just a slow, steady retrieve. This is one of the few baits that I don't use a stop and go retrieve on it. I'm constantly moving it, just slow, just like that. And that is as simple as it gets. Just throw it out there and reel it in slow. Now, the places that you want to fish it, there's two different scenarios that it works good. One is on any type of point, main lake or secondary points. You just get out there in those points, fan cast around anywhere between 5 to 25 foot of water. If you have real clear water and calm water, those fish will come up out of deep water to hit it. But my favorite place to fish it is in the middle of the coves, sort of like towards the two-thirds of the way to all the way back in. So I'll go back into the middle of the cove there, and say, for example, if that cove is 100 yards long, I'll stop in the middle of the cove, about halfway back in it, throw that wake bait right down the middle of the cove, and just reel it right across the middle of that water. And a lot of times those fish, this time of year, they'll be sitting in those guts, the deeper parts of the coves, and they'll come up out of that deeper water to hit that. And also fishing it around the edge of docks is really good. But anyway, guys, this is freaking awesome. Super fun bait to fish. I'll put all the links in the description of the video. If you haven't fished a wake bait and you like fishing topwater, it's going to be one of the funnest baits you'll ever fish. So hope it helps out. Talk later.